Hey guys, welcome back to Andy's Dinosaur Reviews, and we have a very cool figure to take a look at today. One species you may or may not recognize. This is an Eryops, and this is from Paleozoo. I love Paleozoo. They are one of the coolest companies ever when it comes to creating prehistoric creatures because they create some of the coolest species that you'll ever see, stuff that nobody else is making. This here is a prime example of that because I don't know anyone else that has created an Eryops figure at all, and who knows if they ever will. I'm sure someone will at some point, but it's been quite a while that we've had, figures like this out, and this is the only one that I personally know of, so that really says a lot about Paleozoo and their ability to create some of the coolest and most obscure species that are out there. And this figure is not the only one. Trust me, take a look back at some of my other reviews, as I have reviewed other figures like Tiktaalik and things like that in the past that are species, again, nobody else is creating. And if you actually check out the store for their website, you will see just tons of really awesome figures that they have on there, some more of which I would love to get a hold of at some point. This is my third Paleozoo figure, and I was able to acquire the last two thanks to my good buddy Jimmy, who was selling off a good bit of his collection, gave me a good deal on a lot of stuff, so I was able to acquire two newer Paleozoo figures to add to my collection, one of which I have reviewed here on the channel. This is now the second, so after this, unfortunately, I'm out of Paleozoo models to review, but again, this one is just another absolutely gorgeous looking model. Like, they really do a great job on their models. You can see that it looks fantastic no matter which angle you look at it. It is just pure beauty when it comes to an Eryops figure. So let's go ahead, jump straight to a closer look right now. So starting up here at the head sculpt, you can see straight away it is beautiful, absolutely gorgeous. You can see so much really nice, really fine texturing to the head sculpt of the animal. It is just super highly detailed, and honestly, in my opinion, looks perfect to what we would like to see on this species. You can also see that the eyes are painted quite nicely, given a very nice black appearance, and they are also glossed quite beautifully. But just generally, the entire animal kind of has like that glossy type of a look to it, so it's almost something that's hard to pick up on, but you can definitely see it here as I'm turning it, letting the light hit it. You can pick up on that nice gloss coat. You can also see the nostrils are sculpted out up here. And one of the things I think that is one of my favorite parts about the Paleozoo models is just how incredible and realistic the paint schemes and paint applications are. Like, they are just phenomenal continuously, and this is a really good example of that because they just include so much really nice realistic color on them that gives them a little bit of a flashier look, but that looks so natural and so beautiful on their figures. And again, this being the third one now that I've looked at, every single one has had absolutely phenomenal paintwork, and that's exactly the case that you see here with this one. We have primarily kind of almost smooth looking skin in some areas, like down here on the side of the face, but once you get up here to the top of the animal, you see a really bumpy type of an appearance to the skin, and you can see that it's all fantastic looking as far as the paintwork goes. There's so many different tones of color. Just looking at it here, we can see variations of blues, greens, kind of like purples, pinks. There's just a ton of color variation included, and you can look down here, you can see that the mouth is slightly open, showing the teeth inside the mouth. It's not open super wide, just a little bit right there. All of that paintwork as well is really precise, really beautifully done. I really like that aspect of the model, that it just has its mouth opened ever so slightly right there. As we move back here into the body, you start to kind of see the shoulders and stuff picking up right here, as well as some more variation of color included. Moving down here into that front leg, you can see again that the paintwork is phenomenal. We even have some lighter greens and stuff back here that weren't present, or at least that I didn't notice up there on the head. Man, the paintwork of this is so beautifully done. You can kind of see the really nice structure of that leg as it's sticking out here. More fantastic paintwork as we lead down here into the toes. The nails are kind of painted with a dark coloration, but they almost mesh into these little circles because they actually stand on these to help them balance. And they kind of mesh into the background right there, but I actually like the way that they're painted. I think that as well looks just incredibly well done. As we move back here into the stomach region, you can kind of see some folding here sort of on the side. as far as like the skin of the animal goes. You can also see just generally like the structure of the animal as I turn this. You can see there's a slight turn to the body right here as it's walking along. Leading back here into the rear leg, you can definitely see the structure really nicely of the rear leg, like it's really defined in the sculpt of this. And then moving down into the foot, yet again the nails look great, really nice glossy look to pretty much every area. But I feel like down here it almost looks a little bit glossier than what you see up on the body, almost like it's like stepping in water, which would be a very nice natural area that this animal would be obviously inhabiting. And you can see the small tail here at the end of the figure looks really nice. Again, so many variations of like greens and blues and just purples and pinks and so much color. It's crazy how nice the paintwork of these figures truly is. Like, it's the type of paint application you would expect to get from like a paleo artist out there that takes like large commissions and stuff to create models, almost like something you would see from like Shane Folks, but it's on their actual store sold figure. It's just so impressive to me. And then again, moving back here into the body, you can continue to see just how beautiful the detailing is. Again, that really nice bumpy appearance, and all of the bumps throughout are really nicely elaborated. Like, you can see how much care has gone into the overall appearance to this model. It is just phenomenal looking. Like, each and every bump is highlighted with the really nice paintwork, and it's all so precise the way that it's painted. You can see the rear leg also looks quite nice. This leg is taking a step forward as opposed to the opposing leg that's kind of trailing, and you can see kind of like a nice smooth sort of an appearance down here. The further into the lower part of the body we get, the underside as well has that really nice smooth appearance, but you can still see some areas of like the pink and stuff showing up here on the underside. But the majority of the underside is a nice white coloration, very bright white. There is a hole here on the underside, and all of the Paleozoo models have that, and they are actually hollow, but they're still a really high quality feel. Definitely beautiful as far as the actual material used for the figure. Like, it gives it a really nice, very high quality feel overall. And then you can see the front leg yet again over here. So much color variation. Absolutely gorgeous looking model. Paleozoo has found a way to include a ton of detail on this model, making it look honestly super lifelike. Like, if I just hold it back here and you just excuse those little circle things there on the feet, it honestly looks like a real living animal. It is that impressive, and that really says a lot about the overall quality of the product you get when ordering from Paleozoo. So this is an absolutely incredible figure for sure. We get a lot of incredibly impressive models here on my channel, but I feel like it's few and far between that I get models as impressive as the ones that I have received from Paleozoo. Like, it's just mind-boggling how realistic the models look and how beautiful the sculpts are, how beautiful the paint is. Like, they're definitely some of the nicest prehistoric models you are going to find anywhere, and I have no doubt about that statement. But as far as a size goes, the model isn't super huge, but it's also not very small. For a length, you're looking at about 7.5 inches, or around 19, about 18.5, closing in on 19 centimeters. And then for a height, highest point probably would be back here. You're going to see it at about a little over 2 inches, closing in on 2.25 inches, or about 5.5 centimeters roughly. Well, actually, it's about 2 inches here, or about 5 centimeters, so a slight difference as far as that goes. But I think the hip area would probably be the tallest area of the model. But as far as a size comparison goes, there is Mr. Papo T-Rex, the Attack Pack Colovosaurus, and Robert Muldoon from the Mattel Jurassic World toy line in comparison to our Paleozoo Eryops, and it is just beautiful when it comes to the size department. You can see that it sports a very impressive size, but it's not anything that's overly large that's just going to take up an unreasonable amount of room in your collection, but it's also not anything that's too small that's not going to look impressive. On top of an incredible paint job and an incredible sculpt, I feel like the size is picture perfect as well. So this Paleozoo Eryops is absolutely fantastic. There is not a single complaint that I could pick out about this figure, and I feel like that has been the exact same case with every one of the Paleozoo models I have taken a look at so far here on the channel, and there are just dozens more that I would love to get a hold of. Over time, hopefully I will, and I'll be able to review more for you here on the channel as time goes on, but this one, again, is just phenomenal. pretty much a work of art is how I would describe it, and especially considering the fact that it is an Eryops figure. Like, there are none out there of this, so it's nice to have one on top of just getting one in general, but to have one that's as picture perfectly beautiful as this one right here. Like, I feel like this would be the definitive version of the species, even if there were other ones out there, so that also is a huge plus for this figure. The sculpt, as per usual when it comes to a Paleozoo model, is really highly detailed, just showing off every tiny little ounce of detail that would be happening with the animal for the movement shown, as well as the really nice texturing to the skin throughout. I look at this animal and I think, how would they find a way to include a really nice, very highly detailed appearance to it without it just looking like a nice, smooth, almost a frog? But they've given this really cool kind of like bumpy skin texture to it that looks really natural on the animal, but also adds just a plethora of detail to the sculpt. And I really love the way that they've highlighted all of those bumps with the really nice, very careful paintwork, and it honestly just creates such a magnificent visual for this animal, taking something that could have otherwise just looked like a very boring, almost like some sort of ugly large frog creature, and then turned it into something that looks majestic and beautiful and just really pays tribute to the species itself in a fantastic way. And that's something that I feel like Paleozoo has done with every model that I've ever seen from them. And I know I keep kind of harping on you guys about just how cool it is that Paleozoo creates so many obscure species, but honestly, I'm going to leave a link in the description to their store. Make sure you head over there and check it out and see all of the different species that they have available to purchase. Again, you'll be honestly blown away by the insanely awesome species they have chosen to sell through their website, and they continue to create new figures to this day, so that is awesome as well. But this, again, is definitely the nicest version of an Eryops that you're probably ever going to see. Even if others create figures, I feel like they would have a very, very hard time, nearly an impossible time, creating one that would look nicer than this. So if you are interested in this, I will include a link in the description to where you can purchase this on the Paleozoo website. So make sure you head to the link in the description, go buy this or any other of the fantastic Paleozoo models, and make sure you like, comment, and subscribe, and I will see you in the next review. Thanks for watching.